And welcome back. Breaking. Russia responds to the United States downing of jet in Syria, and it's bad. Out of all the countries that cover the face of the earth, I think Russia is probably the last one I'd like to enter a conflict with. Russia has halted cooperation with the United States in Syria and has proclaimed it will intercept any aircraft in Russian areas of operation. From Zero Hedge, shortly after Russia's deputy foreign minister slammed the United States downing of a Syrian Su-22 jet as an act of aggression and support for terrorists, Russia announced that starting June 19th, it was halting all interactions with the U.S. under the framework on the Memorandum of Incident Prevention in Syrian Skies, the Russian Defense Ministry said on Monday, thereby assuring the probability of even more deadly escalations between Russia and the U.S.-led coalition. In retaliation, the ministry warned that Russian missile defense would intercept any aircraft in the area of operations of the Russian aerospace forces in Syria. In areas where Russian aviation is conducting combat missions in the Syrian skies, any flying objects, including jets and unmanned aerial vehicles of the international coalition discovered west of the Euphrates River, will be followed by Russian air and ground defenses as air targets, the Russian Defense Ministry announced, quoted by Sputnik. Contrary to the earlier statement by the U.S., according to which it contradicted its Russian counterparts by telephone via an established deconfliction line to de-escalate the situation and stop the firing, Russia claims the U.S.-led coalition command didn't use the deconfliction channel with Russia to avoid an incident during an operation in Raqqa. So who's lying? Russian aerospace forces jets were conducting operations in Syria airspace that time. However, the command of the coalition forces didn't use the existing channel between the air command of the Qatari air base and the Russian air base to avoid incidents over Syria. The Russian ministry also demands a thorough investigation by the U.S. command with a provision of its results and measures taken. We consider such actions of the U.S. command as an intentional violation of its obligations in the framework of the memo on avoiding incidents and the safety of aviation flights during operations in Syria, signed on October 20th of 2015. A bilateral memorandum of understanding was signed between the United States and Russia in 2015 to ensure the safety of flights during combat missions over Syria. On June 18th, the Syrian army said that the U.S.-led coalition had brought down its aircraft in southern Raqqa countryside when it was fulfilling its mission against Daesh. Later, the coalition confirmed the attack, saying that it shot down the Syrian government's forces' Su-22 aircraft as it had been allegedly been bombing in an area where U.S.-backed rebel forces, the Syrian Democratic Forces, also known as the SDF, were stationed south of Tabqa in the Raqqa province. The U.S.-led coalition called its attack on Syrian army's jet collective self-defense, adding that it contacted the Russian military to de-escalate the situation after the incident. Well, somebody's full of crap, but I certainly don't want to test our arms against Russia's. Breaking. Look what has just happened to the Dow. Just in, the Dow Jones Industrial Average hit a record at the open, surpassing a previous all-time high of 21,391.97 set last week. So, as we see again, if someone got all their information from the MSM, they would think that America is on the verge of becoming the next Nazi state who is economically about to collapse. But judging on what we've seen on consumer confidence, and confidence for small business being at an all-time high, $3 trillion added to the stock market, 500,000 jobs at least returning to America this year or the next, I'd say we're in pretty good shape to rebuild America and perhaps save the world, to bring balance. Breaking. The London Mosque attacker has been identified, and look who it is. Well, the mainstream media is going to love this one. The one time they said it was a white male ended up being true, so I guess 1 out of 50 for them. That's not so bad. Officials have identified the London Mosque attacker as 47-year-old Darren Osborne. There's a picture of him there. It's not very clear, but that'll have to do. ZeroHedge.com reported the man suspected of using a van to attack worshippers at a London mosque has been identified as 47-year-old Darren Osborne, a father of 4 from Cardiff, Wales. Police have confirmed that he will be charged with the commission, preparation, or instigation of terrorism and attempted murder. While a statement from the Metropolitan Police does not mention the attacker's name, but confirms he is being charged as a terrorist. Well, of course they have no problem calling it terrorism 3 minutes after the damn thing happened, as long as it's a white male who was born in Britain. But if it's a Muslim that was born in Britain or not, or London or wherever, it makes no difference. They'll drag it on, wait 3 days, and say, well, maybe it could have been a terrorist attack. A 47-year-old man was arrested for attempted murder and taken to a South London police station where he remains in custody. He has further been arrested for the commission, preparation, we already read that. At this stage in the investigation, it is believed that the suspect acted alone, but we are of course investigating all circumstances leading up to the attack. There were no reports of any people having suffered knife injuries. Osborne's neighbor, who's 52-year-old Dave Ashford, told The Guardian he was shocked to discover that Osborne was suspected of being behind the attack. Someone called me and said it was him, and I said it can't be. Then I saw the picture on the news and said, it's him. As RT reports, 1 person died and 10 others were injured in the incident, which British Prime Minister Theresa May has called sickening and London's mayor has described as a horrific terrorist attack. Oh, of course he has no problem calling that a terrorist attack. How foolish the people of Europe are to vote in people that would ultimately destroy their civilization. But as conflicts escalate, as multiculturalism enters its golden age, I suppose we can expect attacks like this on a daily basis from both sides, because it appears quite clear from this attack alone that whites have had just about enough.